Hello everyone, it's Cherie, and this is my update vlog for August 2024. So the 99% movie, I'm still in pre-production. I'm working on three separate things. The first is a revision of the shot list. I just learned last week there are certain letters you don't use when you are creating a shot list, which makes logical sense, but I didn't know it when I was doing my shots. So like the letter I, for instance. So if you have scene one, letter I, it can look like an 11. And so that will confuse people. Oh, that's the 11 master. And O, and it looks like a 0. So if I had scene 1O, it would look like scene 10. So basically in filmmaking, they do not use like 5 certain letters. And so I had to go through all my storyboards, through my script where I'd lined everything, and changed those. And then I created a spreadsheet for my shot list as well, which is something I should have done when I made the original shot list, but I didn't. So I will be putting out a video about that process and which letters you do and don't use on my the 99% movie channel soon, hopefully this week. What else? Okay, so I was creating the shooting schedule, which I needed the shot list to reference, and that's how I got involved in all the like, oh, I did the shot list the wrong way. So yeah, still working on the shooting schedule. I have a template now, a spreadsheet for the props list, and so now I just have to do the research on how much those props will cost. Most of this is probably going to be Amazon. And so that way I can budget for the props. And then of course after that I'm going to have to budget for, the food and the actors and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's still a big process. It's going slow. What else? Oh, last month I put out a video on Norwegian disaster cinema. That video has gotten more views than most videos I put out. That one has around 91 views as of this recording, and most of the videos I put out on this channel get like between 20 and 30 views. So I thought that was funny. It's also like par for the course because the video that I believe has the most views on my channel is my Diana Rigg appreciation video when she died. I think that has over 1,000 views. So basically when you make videos about other people or, like genres or whatever, you're gonna get more views. That's not what this channel's about, but it's funny, I did notice it. So, so speaking of what this channel is about, it started as just about screenwriting. It's kind of developed into indie filmmaking now. I finally got around to finishing all of the Best Original Screenplay nominee scripts. And it took me so long, because the Oscars were, what, like 6 months ago or something? It took me a long time because I started with the winning screenplay, which was Anatomy of a Fall. That was in French, 90% French, 10% English. Now, I did read it because I am studying French. I'm not fluent by any means, but I got the gist of it. I had to read it real slowly. I had to look up certain terms and phrases. I read some of it out loud just to practice my French. But yeah, it took me forever to get through that script. After that, smooth sailing on all the other 4. I would recommend, if you want to just read a really well-written script, The Holdovers. That was really well written. Also, May December was really well written. Yeah, so those are my recommendations for the best original screenplays of movies that came out in 2023. All right, and books. I finally finished To Kill a Mockingbird. I'd started that a long time ago as well. I had seen the movie twice, so I knew what it was about, but as I was reading it, I was remembering, and it's kind of like, it's rough subject matter because it's about this young girl growing up in the racist South in, I think it was the 1930s, something like that. And the people she looks up to, it's a coming of age story. The people that she looks up to are her father, who is a lawyer who believes that all people are created equal, and her brother, who is kind of following in the father's ideological footsteps. And it is beautifully written. It's just like great characters, but like subject matter wise, it's not something that I want to revisit. So I'm glad I read it. Um, but I don't think I'll read it again. And then I also read another book called, I believe it's called The Ninth House, and it is a fantasy, dark academia. It's about magic at the like Ivy League schools, and it was really fun. I got through that really quickly. Those are the kind of a mystery, kind of thriller-ish. So I guess I'm really drawn to those kinds of books as far as getting through them and reading them. So there's a sequel, which I requested at the library. It hasn't come in yet, but I'll read the sequel to that. I also got a book out called Kairos, which was the International Booker Prize winner. It's a German book. And, I liked it, but it's not really something I wanted to continue. It's like a romance between two characters, and it's written like conversations in their minds almost. They don't use quotations and stuff, and um, I don't know. I thought it was good, but it wasn't what I wanted to read right now, and I don't have a lot of time, so didn't finish that one. Let's see, what else do I have to talk about? Hang on, let me check my list. All right, movies. I forgot in July's vlog to talk about Challengers, which I finally saw on Fandango at Home. I really love Fandango at Home. I would recommend it. They get a lot of the newer releases, and then they will have these flash deals where you can get them really cheap. So instead of paying like $20, you pay like $4. So I finally saw Challengers, which I loved. It had great character development. I can see why Zendaya, made this movie. I believe she was the producer as well as a star. Just really, really good writing. And then also, I saw The TV Glow. That's the name of the movie. I saw The TV Glow. Loved it. I had heard really good stuff about it. It's not for everyone, but it is just a gorgeous, lots of vibrant neon colors. And I don't want to go too much into it, but check it out. I saw The TV Glow. And then also the Criterion Channel, I saw a really old movie called Born Yesterday with Judy Holliday. And I remember way back in the day, Madonna said she was inspired by Judy Holliday in Born Yesterday when she did the movie Who's That Girl? And if you've seen Who's That Girl, Madonna has this really annoying accent. And yeah, it's the same one that Judy Holliday has, but I think for the character, it really worked for Born Yesterday. Would totally recommend it. It's about the girlfriend of this gangster, and she goes to Washington, D.C., and he wants her to appear to be like classier, and so he hires this guy to educate her, and he takes her around Washington, and she starts learning all these things and reading books, and kind of ends badly for the gangster. And then I saw a movie called The Last of Sheila, which had been an inspiration for Rian Johnson when he wrote Knives Out and Glass Onion. And it's like a murder mystery that takes place on a yacht off the, I guess, Italian and French coasts. I think it starts like in Italy, but then it goes to France. Anyway, that was very entertaining. I would recommend that one. And then now let's talk about the Harvard PhD film list. All right, so I went through movies 61 through 75 on the Harvard PhD film list. With a caveat, I'm still watching Napoleon, which is, I think, number 73. It's a 5.5-hour movie. Actually really good so far with what I've watched. I thought I would be bored, but I'm enjoying it. All right, so these had a lot of the classics that you watch in film school. It had Battleship Potemkin, The Gold Rush, The General, Metropolis, and The Jazz Singer. So, well, actually, I didn't see The Jazz Singer in film school, but I'd heard about it because it was the first like talkie. And it's about a Jewish guy whose father wants him to be a cantor in a synagogue, but he wants to be an entertainer on stage. Did you know that? Like, I don't think anyone really knows what it's about. So anyway, those are all worth watching, of course, but I'm going to talk about the ones that just I really loved and I would totally want to watch again. Um, but then let me talk about this one first because I don't really want to watch it again, but it's very interesting. It was called L'Inhumaine, which L'Inhumaine, it's a French word. It means the inhumane woman. And it's about this diva who assembles all these men at her party, and this one guy, wants to be with her, and she kind of rebuffs him, and so he goes and crashes his car, and stuff happens from there. Now the thing is, it's kind of sci-fi because the guy that crashed the car actually was inventing this machine to reanimate people, and it has an entire it's alive kind of scene. And this was, I think, 3 years before Frankenstein came out. So maybe Frankenstein got a little bit of inspiration from L'Inhumaine. It is interesting to watch because the main character was a real opera diva. I think this was the only movie she made. And the character is so much like Norma Desmond in Sunset Boulevard, just her mannerisms and stuff. It's really fascinating. And I don't know if that was an inspiration. Billy Wilder was inspired by that to write Norma Desmond, but it was really interesting. Also, the set design, if you are into sets or costumes, you should watch it. It is like just beautiful art deco. It's kind of like, I want to say if Expressionism morphed into art deco, because it had kind of like both elements in it. So, but as far as rewatchability, the pacing was really slow. I think personally, like 20 minutes could have been cut out of it, and then it would have just moved a lot quicker, and then it would have been something maybe I would want to watch again. But I recommend it for like the art design elements. Now there was also The Lodger, which was the first like real Hitchcock film. He had made movies before, but then he went to Germany and he worked on sets with the German Expressionists. Then he came back and he made this movie, The Lodger. And it's got those expressionistic elements. It's a mystery. It's really well paced. The lead actor is just kind of gorgeous. I didn't know about him before. I'll put his name somewhere. And yeah, it was a fun one. I really enjoyed it. And then, okay, Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans. Now, I had seen this one a long time ago. It was kind of considered a Best Picture winner along with Wings, which is considered the Best Picture Oscar winner. Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans got an Oscar for Artistic Achievement. And it's just beautiful. I love it. I also love Wings. I don't think Wings was on that list. That's interesting. I would recommend Wings. Kind of long, but just moves really well. War film. And Sunrise, A Song of Two Humans is a nice little emotional piece and just gorgeous. So yeah, so now I am I've hit the sound era, but there were still silent films being made after the Jazz Singer, and so I still have a few more silent movies left to watch before I am totally in the talkie era of films on the Harvard PhD film list. So that's where I'm ending it. I probably have other stuff I wanted to touch on, but I don't remember it right now, and I gotta get ready for work. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you in next month's update.